So, narcissism. What a term, thrown around so much. Narcissist, toxic person, toxic relationship. And you're probably here for one of three reasons. One, you're currently in love with a narcissist. Two, you think the person you are in love with is a narcissist, and you're really exploring the attributes and maybe what can be done. How can you fix this? How can you fix this problem? Or three, you've been hurt in a relationship or are still being hurt in a relationship with a narcissist and you're trying to find a solution or closure. So let's go ahead and jump in. You don't fall in love with a narcissist in a single moment. You fall in love with an illusion designed to reflect exactly what you want to see. And it feels real. It feels like your dreams of an ideal lover have finally come true. And there's a reason the word narcissist carries so much weight. It's thrown around to describe pretty much any person who comes off as cocky, egotistical, selfish, or self-interested. And while narcissists appear confident, superior, or even grandiose, much of that is a protective mask. Behind the bravado, they usually have a fragile self-esteem. They may feel deep insecurities or inadequacy, fear of rejection or being seen as ordinary. They crave validation to fill the gap in their self-worth. Self-loathing or shame. They often have a critical inner voice and believe themselves to be critically flawed, even though they may not admit it. Narcissists rely on external validation to stabilize their self-image. Compliments, attention, and admiration, it temporarily soothes their internal self-doubt. Relationships are often less about connecting with you and more about receiving a reflection that confirms their self-worth. In other words, the love they seek isn't always for you. It's for the version of themselves they see in your attentions. To sum it up, narcissists often hate or distrust themselves at a core level. The charm, attention-seeking, and grandiosity are compensating behaviors designed to hide or mask their inner self-loathing. Now, the term comes from an ancient myth, which you probably already know. It's the story of Narcissus, a man so obsessed with his own reflection that he couldn't love anyone else. Not because they weren't worthy, but because he was incapable. Narcissus stared into the water, enchanted by the image he believed was perfection. He wasted away there, and where he died, a flower grew, the narcissus bloom, a symbol of beauty without depth, attraction without connection. A warning of what happens when love only has one direction. And that's the first psychological trap when you love a narcissist. You're not loved for who you are. You're valued for how well you reflect them. They mirror you, your dreams, your fears, your strengths. They do it so deeply that you feel, maybe for the first time, understood. You have found someone who understands you. But just like the reflection in the water, it's not real intimacy. It's not real love. It's strategy. Personally, I fell for a woman I thought would never notice me. Her energy, beauty, playfulness, they were intoxicating. And after a passionless marriage, I felt like I'd finally hit the jackpot. She built me up, but it was an illusion. I gave her all of my attention, but it was never enough. She craved and sought attention from everyone. My attention was almost ignored. The lesson was brutal. Nearly a decade with this, a divorce, and my entire world left in pieces. I fell for the illusion, and it nearly destroyed me. Back to the pitfalls. The second pitfall is cognitive dissonance. The battle between who they were at the start and who they become once the mask begins to slip. Narcissists could only love what he saw in the water. The narcissists today still love the same thing, a reflection, never a person. This is where the relationship becomes confusing. They once adored you, now they criticize you. They once made you feel chosen. Now they make you feel responsible for their moods, their anger, and their emptiness. And because your heart remembers this reflection phase, you start blaming yourself for this distortion. In my own situation, it started to become clear to me that I was not a priority. Not second, not third, not even 10th. I still didn't know what to do. I was still in love with the idea of this person, even though that person was no longer present in my marriage. The third pitfall really comes with gaslighting, where your memories, emotions, and instincts are questioned until you doubt the one thing narcissists never question: your own reflection. And after that, the nervous system adapts to a cycle of reward and rejection, the core of trauma bonding. You wait for the good version of them to return. For me, it was accompanied with me and my wife drinking, and for a few hours, the love felt real and new once again. A terrible mistake, which led to many more terrible mistakes, but I'll save that for another video. This brought back the version who mirrored everything you needed, just like narcissists waited for the reflection to respond, to move, to love him back. But reflections don't love. They only imitate. And still, here's the truth the myth never told. You are not cursed to stay at the water's edge. You can walk away even if it feels impossible. You can reclaim your voice, your boundaries, your identity. Falling for someone who cannot love you is not your fault. You are not naive, nor gullible, or stupid. It is a testament to your capacity of love. It means you saw depth where there was only surface. You offered connection where there was only ego. But unlike narcissists, you can step away from the reflection and reconnect with the real world and with real people, and you can discover real love. I myself, I am forever changed. I'm a bit guarded. I still always lead with trust and kindness, but I find doubt in whether someone's actions are genuine or just pacifying. My eyes are open. I understand now what I need, and I understand what I will and will not tolerate in a relationship. Do you? The narcissist flower is beautiful, but it grows from tragedy. A reminder that not everything that looks like love is love. But you can make a choice. You can leave. Because the sad truth is, narcissists rarely change. Not because they can't, but because they won't. Narcissism is built around denial, blame shifting, inflated self-importance, extreme sensitivity to criticism, the inability to self-reflect. To change, a person has to look inward and say, I might be the problem. I might be what needs to change. But for a narcissist, that is the ultimate threat. So now, the hardest truth. Love does not change a narcissist. Your goodness does not wake them up. Your suffering does not soften them, because love requires vulnerability, and vulnerability threatens their entire defense system. Stay with them, leave them, it's up to you. Just know that people rarely change. And to you watching, what you are not changing, you are choosing. If you know these things and you are in a miserable relationship, then you need only look into the mirror to find blame. But perhaps you'll look in the mirror and you'll find courage. You'll find that you deserve someone who loves you back just as you love them. Just something that I've been thinking about.